Hello and welcome to this video. In this video, we are going to thoroughly cover REEF Finance, which is one of the most interesting projects in the DeFi space. For those of you who don't know me, I am Dr. Sabil Khan. I am a blockchain expert, a business strategist, and an award-winning scientist. So on this channel, my goal is to find the hidden gems and make my audience aware of them before many people know about them so that they can leverage the price appreciation in the long run. So if that sounds interesting to you, please subscribe to this channel, hit the notifications bell, and select the option all so that you get the notifications of the upcoming videos as soon as they are released. So let's go ahead. So first of all, we will see why do we need REEF Finance and what it does. Then we will see the differentiation which it has in the DeFi space and what sets it apart from the crowd. Then we will see the scope, scalability, and interoperability, all these three dimensions, and then we will see how it is differentiated along all these three dimensions. Then we will see the problems in the DeFi space and how REEF Finance solves them. Then we will provide a brief implementation overview, and after that we will have a look at the utility of the token and then the exchange listings, and based on all these dimensions we will see where it can go as far as the market cap and the price is concerned. So the price prediction will come in the very end, so stay tuned. So first of all, why REEF Finance and what it does? So REEF Finance was formed in 2019 by CEO and co-founder Denko Menchesky. The project was launched on Polkadot in September 2020 and on the Binance Launch Pool the following December, and since then the REEF token is available on Binance Smart Chain, BSC. The enormous fragmentation in the DeFi space is evident from the fact that the features that are provided by a particular application are unavailable in another. And even though there are functionalities available across different dApps which can complement each other and enrich the value proposition of the customer, but they only exist on separate platforms. In short, the problem is that even though the DeFi space offers promising products, but they are not convenient for the customers to use and are too overwhelming to enhance the adoption, especially for those who are new to DeFi space. This is exactly the shortcoming of the space which REEF Finance wants to mitigate. According to Menchesky, the CEO of REEF Finance, the goal of REEF Finance is to abstract away complexities and try to onboard a simple, non-tech savvy user. So the main reason behind the creation of REEF is the high complexity in assessing the value from the interfaces of dApps while using various DeFi services. This acts as a big hurdle and shrinks the number of participants joining the DeFi space. To overcome this complexity and enable the users in availing a wide variety of services via an intuitive interface, REEF Finance was created, which intends to weed out this problem. REEF Finance bundles different blockchain services under a single and intuitive unified interface, which makes the end user experience seamless as well as convenient. Hence, the users can not only buy, sell, and trade cryptocurrencies, but also stake assets, take loans, and manage portfolio conveniently. One of the main components of REEF comes in the form of a smart liquidity aggregator and yield engine that enables trading with access to liquidity from both centralized and decentralized exchanges, while offering smart lending, borrowing, staking, and mining through AI-driven personalized REEF yield engine. Now we will look at the way REEF Finance is differentiated in the DeFi space, and that is very important to know before investing in a cryptocurrency project. So we will look at the differentiation along three key dimensions. Number one, scope. Number two, scalability. And number three, interoperability. So let's go ahead. Now let's see how these three dimensions will set it apart from the crowd. And if we look closely while diagnosing it along these dimensions, we will realize that it is a unique outlier with tremendous growth potential. So let's have a look at the scope dimension. So refinance is unique in the sense that it sources liquidity from both the centralized and decentralized exchanges. The competitors like SushiSwap, Uniswap, and 1inch are Ethereum dApps and can only source liquidity from decentralized exchanges, which are essentially Ethereum dApps and cannot source liquidity from the centralized exchanges. In other words, REEF is capable of assessing the combined liquidity of both centralized and decentralized exchanges, which is a huge advantage. REEF achieves it via its global liquidity aggregator. And this solution is unique in the sense that the aggregated liquidity goes through centralized and decentralized exchanges, which allows users to hedge the downsides of these liquidity sources, which are trading fee and high slippage, respectively. The centralized liquidity is assessed via the use of brokerage services such as Tagomi, Caspian, or Quantrek, while the decentralized liquidity comes from sources like on-chain order books and AMMs, for example, Uniswap, Balancer, and Bancor. One important point over here is that REEF's liquidity aggregation also helps to protect users from issues such as market manipulation and front-running attacks. All these key distinct features not only make the trading on REEF easy and affordable, but also very diverse. Apart from that, we must make it clear that REEF Finance also merges plethora of other DeFi services and provides a wide spectrum of value proposition via a unified interface. This makes the end user experience seamless and convenient. So in essence, now the users can avail a number of functionalities like buying, selling, and trading cryptocurrencies, as well as staking cryptos, staking assets, and even take loans and so on. In short, it acts as a one-stop solution to manage the portfolio conveniently and intuitively. So in short, REEF Finance has forged a blue ocean where there is virtually no competition. Surely some of the dApps provide only a subset of services which are available via REEF, but no one attempts to shatter the fragmentation in the DeFi market and act as a one-stop solution for a wide variety of DeFi services. Now let's have a look at the scalability dimension. So as you know that most of the DeFi apps are currently Ethereum dApps, and as we have seen in the case of many decentralized exchanges, the scalability can be a major issue since they run on Ethereum blockchain, and when the number of users and transactions increases, it clogs the Ethereum network. This creates delays and unpleasant end user experience. Furthermore, high gas costs is another major problem with Ethereum network. Both the aforementioned problems have surfaced several times in the past in the case of Ethereum network. Now, Polkadot solves this problem via its unique architecture where the transactions on parachains and parathreads, which are essentially both blockchains in the Polkadot ecosystem, which can execute transactions independent of each other. If you want to know more about how Polkadot works and solves the scalability problem and enhances transaction speeds, please watch the video which I made on Polkadot that covers all these key aspects of Polkadot, and the link of that video is above. Now let's have a look at the interoperability dimension. Being a third generation blockchain, Polkadot enables the interoperability of its dApps with dApps on other networks. Since REEF Finance is implemented as a Polkadot dApp, it means that REEF can essentially communicate with dApps from other networks such as Ethereum. That simply gives it the ability to access rich data available via existing dApps in the fragmented DeFi market and enhances the value proposition for the end user, and in this way remaining true to its vision of obliterating the defragmentation of the DeFi sector and acting as a one-stop solution for a variety of DeFi services. So the sole purpose of REEF Finance is to converge the plethora of DeFi services under one umbrella in order to provide a wide spectrum of value proposition in a streamlined and intuitive manner that won't be possible if it was implemented as an Ethereum dApp, since the Ethereum platform in its current state does not allow interoperability with dApps of other ecosystems and also suffers from the scalability issues. When I use the word other ecosystems, it means that the ecosystems that are formed by the dApps of different blockchains. For example, the ecosystem formed by the dApps of NEO, the ecosystem formed by the dApps of Cardano in the future, the ecosystem formed by the dApps of Ethereum, the ecosystem formed by the dApps of Polkadot. So you got the point. Now let's have a look at the main problems in the DeFi space, and then we will also see how REEF Finance solves them. So REEF solves three major problems in the DeFi space: the liquidity problem, the yield problem, and the fragmentation problem. Now let's go through each one of these problems one by one. The first one is liquidity problem. So first of all, the hacks are a big problem with the centralized exchanges, since unlike decentralized exchanges, the users don't own their private keys. So unlike the decentralized exchanges, the centralized exchanges cannot leverage the security of blockchain technology to protect the digital assets of its users. And that is why many centralized exchanges have been hacked in the past. As far as the decentralized exchanges are concerned, we know that most of them are Ethereum dApps. And as a result, they are slow and can get congested due to lack of proper mechanisms to tackle scalability in Ethereum. And that is why Ethereum network gets clogged, as we have seen many times in the past. Also, the lack of integration with the overall DeFi ecosystem is yet another major limitation. So indeed, the liquidity problem is real and must be overcome. Other major problem is the yield problem. The yield problem encompasses issues such as high technical barriers to entry, the challenging task of utilizing best strategies, and most of all, the high gas fee. To mitigate these problems, REEF Finance has implemented a smart yield farming aggregator. So essentially, the REEF yield engine manages the assets on behalf of users via artificial intelligence. As a result, the new users don't have to do trading and staking themselves. The AI engine handles the task of portfolio planning and allocation of assets in a way that matches the risk tolerance of the trader. This has been unheard of in the DeFi space so far. The engine is powered by machine learning and it will help it in growing with time. Now, since the AI is data-driven, the information which it stores is imported via an off-chain oracle, and the team also secured a partnership with Chainlink already. The important role of oracles in the mass adoption of blockchain technology is described in the video which I recently made. The link of the video is above. The oracle imports the real-world data to the proxy smart contracts which serve as the AI's backbone. Furthermore, apart from that, REEF also provides integration with some DeFi insurance protocols in order to provide coverages for its users. And now we come to the last major problem, which is the fragmentation problem. So the problem with DeFi is that many dApps now are residing in the Ethereum ecosystem and are unable to leverage the data available via dApps of other ecosystems such as NEO and Polkadot. This means that since they are unable to access the data available via these dApps due to their inability to communicate with them, and in this way it will be very difficult for these dApps to match the evolving needs of consumers over time. So in short, the value proposition of many current dApps is very narrow, and one of the prominent reasons for this is that the Ethereum network can get clogged very easily. Therefore, the DeFi market is full of dApps that make it very fragmented due to their narrow value proposition. Therefore, there is a need to provide a variety of services while abstracting the technicalities from the users so that people who are newcomers to blockchain space can also benefit from the innovations in the DeFi space. The convergence of the services on a single dApp which doesn't have scalability issues and can evolve as per changing behaviors and needs of consumers is a big challenge. In case of REEF Finance, this is made possible due to the fact that REEF Finance lies in the Polkadot's ecosystem, and we know that Polkadot is a blockchain 3.0 platform or a third generation blockchain platform, which mitigates the problem of blockchain 2.0 platforms or second generation blockchain platforms, such as scalability and lack of interoperability. And now we provide a brief overview of the implementation. As far as implementation is concerned, the REEF platform is powered by Polkadot, as we mentioned before. So as I mentioned in one of the videos on which you can click at the end of this video and watch it, the Polkadot ecosystem consists of parachains and parathreads. Initially, REEF won't be a parachain. The codebase will be compatible with multiple parachains, and it will be on Moonbeam and Plasma on day one of the mainnet. So the reason of choosing Polkadot over Ethereum was that it is possible to run Solidity code on parachains such as Plasma, use native Ethereum addresses, and also at the same time, the ecosystem support from Web3 and parity is unparalleled. Therefore, these were the reasons for building REEF Finance on Polkadot. Since REEF is cross-chain, therefore it gives REEF the flexibility and adaptability to evolve with the evolving needs and wants of the customers. And now we briefly cover the REEF token. The REEF token can be used for governance, protocol fee, staking, and yield distribution. So in case of governance, it can be used to vote on different proposals such as releasing new features and readjusting certain parameters in the system. And as far as the protocol fee is concerned, it can be used to pay fee for operations such as entering or exiting a basket, reallocation, rebalancing, as well as functionalities. And now let's have a look at staking. So in that case, it can be used for staking into various pools for earning interest with preferred APR. And now let's have a look at the yield distribution. So it can be used to choose the payout ratio of the profit generated by the activities in a customer's basket. And now let's have a look at the exchange listings. So we already know that REEF Finance is listed on many tier 1 exchanges such as Huobi Global and Binance. Therefore, liquidity is not going to be a problem. And now, after looking at the various aspects of REEF Finance, let's have a look at our price prediction. So looking at the fundamentals and recent surge in the market cap of many DeFi projects, which increased 5, 10 or even 20 times in some cases, and given the fact that REEF Finance is uniquely positioned in the market since it is built over Polkadot and has a very wide spectrum of value proposition, it would be reasonable in this bull market to predict a price which is 3x the current price, which would be around 9.6 cents and will give it a total market cap of $290 million US. In the long run, however, it can give us life-changing gains since as Polkadot consolidates its place in the top 10 currencies, as more and more Ethereum dApps shift to Polkadot to mitigate interoperability issues, and as the Polkadot ecosystem gains more traction due to delays in Ethereum 2.0 release, we can see a price of 10x and 20x the current price in the last stages of the current bull market, and that will take the price of REEF Finance token between 32 and 64 cents and give it a market cap roughly between 1 and 2 billion US. That might not seem very realistic now, but looking at the wide spectrum of its value proposition and potential impact, it is very well achievable in coming 1 to 3 years in a bull market. So the conclusion is that if the project team remains committed and markets the REEF Finance properly, I can see it as a solid integral part of my long-term crypto portfolio. I hope that you enjoyed this video. Please subscribe to this channel, push the notifications bell, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.